Okay, so you want to own a medieval toll bridge. Perfect. Every cart, merchant, and traveler pays to cross your river. By noon, the toll chest is already heavy. Then a mason crawls beneath the bridge. He finds the main pier splitting around its foundation. Repairing it could cost more than a month of traffic. Nobody stole from you. Nobody avoided the toll. Business was excellent, and you may still finish the season poorer than you started. So what did you really buy? A river crossing? A legal monopoly? Or an endless repair bill? To answer that, we need to build the bridge. Then we need to follow every coin across it. The first surprise is that you do not begin with stone. You begin with authority. In medieval England, a bridge could serve everyone. But collecting tolls required a recognized grant, custom, office, or legal duty. From the 13th century, many English bridges received pontage grants. Pontage allowed money to be raised for construction or repairs. That sounds like permission to print money. It was usually permission to inherit a problem. The grant might be temporary, and its money was supposed to support the bridge. Travelers could resent paying for a crossing they believed should remain open. Local landowners might claim exemptions. Religious houses, towns, or favored merchants might hold older privileges. Your first asset was the right to charge specific people for using the bridge, and every unclear exemption weakened that right. Let us place our bridge in a growing English town. It is the late 13th or early 14th century. A busy road meets a river too deep for carts. There is a ford upstream during dry weather. A ferry operates downstream when the current allows it. Your bridge will be faster than both. It will also be far more expensive than both. Location decides whether that expense can ever be recovered. Build too close to the ford, and travelers avoid your gate. Build too far from the road, and merchants ignore you. Build where the river is wide or violent, and costs never stop climbing. The ideal site narrows the river without concentrating too much force. It connects roads that already carry grain, wool, livestock, and people. It sits near a town that benefits from dependable traffic. That town matters more than it first appears. A bridge does not create trade from nothing. It captures movement that already wants to cross. Now choose the structure. A timber bridge is cheaper but vulnerable to decay, fire, impact, and replacement. A stone bridge costs far more before earning anything, but can serve generations. Our model uses a multi-span stone bridge. It has masonry piers, pointed arches, parapets, and a narrow roadway. The roadway is cobbled or graveled. The approaches require raised causeways above wet ground. The riverbanks need revetments to stop them collapsing. Every feature solves one problem and creates another cost. The piers carry the arches while standing directly inside, accelerating water. The riverbed can be stripped away beneath the foundations. Medieval builders did not use the modern word scour. They still understood what moving water could do. They drove timber piles, packed stone, and shaped cutwaters to divide the current. And then they waited to see whether the river agreed. Construction begins before the first toll is collected. Stone and timber must be quarried, felled, and transported. Lime, sand, gravel, iron, rope, and tools must also arrive. Masons, carpenters, and laborers all need food and wages. Carts and draft animals need constant supply. The river must sometimes be diverted or temporarily controlled. Temporary wooden works may be built only to disappear later. The most expensive part may become invisible underwater. That is a terrible feature for an investor. Customers admire the arches while your money remains buried beneath the current. Large bridges could take years or decades to complete. Old London Bridge began its great stone rebuilding in 1176. Its 19 arches stretched roughly 900 feet. The work took 33 years. Our bridge is smaller, but the lesson is the same. A bridge can consume capital longer than the person financing it expects. The first economic question is not how much toll you charge. It is whether you survive until the toll gate opens. Suppose the bridge is finally complete. The gatekeeper raises the barrier at sunrise. The first cart approaches with sacks of grain. Now you need a toll schedule. Do you charge per person, horse, or cart? Do animals and sacks receive separate rates, or do you charge according to cargo value? A simple toll is easy to collect. It may treat very different users unfairly. A complicated toll captures more value. It also creates arguments, delay, and fraud. A cart carrying feathers weighs little. A cart carrying stone damages the road surface. A merchant carrying silver may impose almost no physical wear. A herd of cattle can block the entire crossing. The most profitable traveler may not be the most expensive traveler. This is our first open question. Who should pay the most? We will return to it after the first busy market day. For now, charge small fixed amounts by category. Pedestrians pay least, and riders pay more. Loaded carts pay more again. Large herds pay according to animal count. The system looks fair on parchment. At the gate, it becomes negotiation. A merchant claims his cart is empty. A drover hides animals among another herd. A local resident insists the bridge was built for the town. A monastery produces an exemption. A noble household expects passage without question. Every exception slows the line. Every delay makes the bridge less valuable. Traffic is your revenue. Congestion is your enemy. That creates the second contradiction. The fuller the bridge becomes, the less useful it may feel. A narrow crossing can handle only one cart at a time. Two stubborn drivers can stop everyone behind them. Livestock panic near wagons. Loose loads fall onto the roadway. A broken axle can close the route for hours. The gatekeeper collects money only while movement continues. You are not selling stone. You are selling time saved. The ferry must wait, load, cross, unload, and return. The ford may be dangerous or impossible after rain. Your bridge offers immediate passage. That convenience is the real product. Charge less than the saved time is worth, and travelers pay. Charge more, and they search for another route. Now, open the toll chest after the first week. Coins are arriving from many small payments. That looks safer than depending on one merchant. It is also expensive to supervise. You need gatekeepers on both approaches. You need a clerk to record receipts. You need watchmen when traffic continues after dark. You need someone to inspect the roadway. You need masons and carpenters available before small damage grows. The owner cannot stand beside the chest every hour. Agents control the count. The collector knows how many carts passed. The clerk knows how much was recorded. The watchman knows who crossed after the gate officially closed. If their numbers disagree, you may never learn why. A busy bridge can leak money one traveler at a time. Now return to the question of who pays most. The answer is not simply the richest merchant. The best toll schedule charges for pressure on the crossing. Heavy carts create wear. Large herds create delay. High-value cargo can afford dependable speed. Local daily users provide predictable volume. Occasional luxury merchants provide occasional large payments. A strong bridge business balances all four. It does not depend on a single type of traveler. Then comes the problem outside your gate. The ford still exists. During a dry summer, carts may cross upstream for free. The ferry owner may lower his price. A nearby lord may improve another road. Merchants may combine into larger caravans to reduce repeated charges. Some travelers simply wait until the gatekeeper leaves. Your legal right does not eliminate substitutes. It only gives you one advantage over them. The bridge works in more conditions. That reliability must justify the toll. This is where maintenance becomes part of sales. A cracked parapet is not only a repair cost. It tells travelers the crossing may be unsafe. A muddy approach is not only inconvenient, it destroys the time advantage you are selling. A missing gate hinge is not a small defect. It makes collection harder. Every repair protects both the structure and the reputation. Now imagine the first winter. Rain swells the river. Branches strike the piers. Silt shifts around the foundations. Water enters the mortar joints. Frost loosens exposed stone. Carts grind the wet roadway into ruts. Nothing dramatic needs to happen. Ordinary weather is already expensive. Then spring brings heavier water. Debris collects against one cutwater. The current presses harder against the obstruction. Workers must enter dangerous water to clear it. The bridge may remain open. The repair bill still arrives. This is why pontage mattered. Charity and inherited obligations often proved insufficient. The right to collect tolls was a funding mechanism. It was not proof that the bridge produced easy profit. In many cases, the toll existed because the bridge was already costly. That changes the entire title. You are not buying revenue attached to stone. You are accepting maintenance attached to revenue. Now add a second income stream. Some urban bridges supported houses, shops, chapels, or gateways. The buildings used scarce space and guaranteed passing traffic. A baker on the bridge sees every morning traveler. A cloth seller stands directly on the commercial route. A tavern near the approach serves delayed merchants. Rent can be more dependable than tolls. London Bridge later supported a dense line of shops and houses. Its bridge administration also held other property. By the mid-14th century, property income supported frequent repairs. That is the third open question. Was the toll actually the best part of the bridge business? Not necessarily. Tolls rise and fall with traffic. Rent arrives from tenants under longer agreements. Property away from the river does not disappear when one arch closes. A bridge owner who owns only the crossing is concentrated in one risk. A bridge institution with rents and land can spread that risk. The physical bridge attracts the attention. The endowment keeps it alive. For our model, add 6 modest rental units near the approaches. A stable, a warehouse, 2 shops, a tavern, and a small house. None makes the bridge stronger. Each makes the business less dependent on tolls. The warehouse earns from merchants waiting for market day. The stable earns from animals resting before travel. The tavern earns when weather delays traffic. Bad conditions can reduce tolls and increase lodging income. That is useful diversification. It is not a complete solution. A flood can damage every property beside the river. The same location that creates demand concentrates danger. Now consider the town behind the bridge. Merchants who cross spend money in its market. Farmers reach customers on the opposite bank. Craftspeople gain access to wider demand. Land near the approaches becomes more valuable. The bridge produces benefits the toll chest never records. This creates political tension. The town wants low tolls because traffic supports everyone. The bridge keeper wants high tolls because repairs are expensive. Merchants want predictable charges. Local elites want exemptions. The king wants the route available. The river does not care about any of them. If you raise tolls too far, you may protect this year's accounts. You may also shrink next year's traffic. If you keep tolls too low, the crossing becomes popular. The maintenance reserve becomes empty. The correct price is not the highest amount travelers will pay today. It is the amount that keeps them returning while funding tomorrow's repairs. That is harder than it sounds. You cannot see tomorrow's flood in today's traffic. So let us build a transparent ledger. No complete account book survives for our imaginary bridge. Exact toll rates varied by place, date, privilege, and cargo. We will use accounting units instead of pretending otherwise. These numbers are modeled. They are not recovered medieval prices. Start with an ordinary operating year. Tolls bring in 80 units. Rents and storage bring in 25. Small services add 5. Total revenue is 110 units. Gatekeepers, clerks, guards, and routine supplies cost 30. Roadway upkeep and minor masonry cost 25. A prudent repair reserve takes another 25. 30 units remain. That sounds profitable. Now notice what made it work. The bridge did not consume its reserve. The river behaved. The tenants paid. Traffic stayed steady. The profit exists only because the bad event did not happen yet. Now model a good year. A strong harvest fills the roads. The nearby market attracts more merchants. The ford remains unusable after steady rain. Tolls rise to 100 units. Rents and services add 40. Operating costs rise to 35. Routine repairs consume 30. The reserve takes another 30. 45 units remain. This is the year that makes ownership look brilliant. The gate is crowded. The chest is full. Tenants renew their leases. People begin calling the bridge a monopoly. Then comes the weak year. A poor harvest reduces market traffic. The summer stays dry. The ford becomes easy to use. A nearby ferry cuts its price. Tolls fall to 55 units. Rents and services add 25. Operating costs still consume 30. Routine repairs still consume 25. Existing obligations take 15. 10 units remain. One damaged parapet can erase them. The bridge is open. The business is barely alive. Now the year you were waiting for. Heavy water undermines one pier. Inspectors close part of the crossing. Traffic falls while emergency work begins. Tolls bring in only 30 units. Rents and services add 20. Staff, security, and administration still cost 25. Emergency timber, stone, labor, and diversion works cost 100. The result is a loss of 75 units. That number is modeled. The shape of the risk is not. One structural failure can consume several successful years. This answers the opening contradiction. A full toll chest is not the same as profit. It may only be the repair fund arriving early. Now suppose you never built a reserve. The good year looked richer. You spent the surplus on land, status, or another venture. When the pier fails, the bridge closes. Toll revenue stops immediately. Merchants move to the ferry. Market traffic shifts toward another town. Tenants near the approach lose customers. Some leave. The bridge loses income precisely when it needs the most money. This is the financial trap. The asset that produces revenue also produces the emergency. Modern businesses often separate operations from major capital replacement. A medieval bridge rarely offered that comfort. The road, toll gate, foundation, reputation, and market route were one system. Break the foundation, and every income stream weakens together. So who actually became rich? Sometimes a lord or town benefited from the traffic. Sometimes a religious or charitable institution managed the crossing. Sometimes toll collectors or lessees profited from efficient collection. But the safest position often belonged to whoever controlled supporting property. Rent from shops, warehouses, and land could outlast a temporary closure. A fixed lease could shift operating risk to another person. The legal owner might accept predictable annual income. The operator kept any surplus. The operator also absorbed the shortfall. That arrangement looks familiar because the logic is timeless. Ownership and operation are different businesses. Now imagine leasing the toll right. You promise the owner 40 units each year. You keep everything collected above that amount. In the good year, revenue reaches 140. Costs consume 95. You keep 5 after paying the owner. The owner receives 40 without counting carts. In the weak year, total revenue reaches 80. Costs consume 70. You still owe 40. You lose 30. The gatekeeper may look like the owner. The person holding the fixed claim may be safer. Now return to the first question. Who should pay the most? Not simply the person with the most valuable cargo. The bridge should charge according to saved time, physical burden, and alternatives. A heavy cart wears the roadway. A large herd delays everyone. A distant merchant values reliability. A local pedestrian provides regular volume. The winning toll schedule spreads revenue without driving traffic away. The losing schedule treats every traveler as something to squeeze. Now return to the second question. Can a crowded bridge still lose money? Absolutely. Crowds increase wear. Congestion reduces convenience. More traffic requires more staff. Higher revenue encourages deferred maintenance to look harmless. The busiest year can create the largest future repair bill. And now the third question. Was the toll the best part of the business? Often, no. The stronger model combined tolls with rent, storage, land, and reserves. The crossing created traffic. The surrounding property captured its value. That distinction separates a bridge from a bridge business. The structure moves people across water. The business earns from everything their movement makes valuable. There is one final complication. A pontage grant was often justified by repair. The toll was not necessarily personal profit to spend freely. Authority could be temporary. Collection could be supervised. The bridge might be considered a public obligation. So the title hides a legal problem. You may control the revenue without owning the bridge like ordinary property. You may own nearby land without controlling the toll. You may manage repairs without keeping any surplus. Medieval ownership was often a bundle of rights and duties. That bundle mattered more than the word owner. So could you get rich owning a medieval toll bridge? Yes, under narrow conditions. The route must already carry valuable traffic. Travelers must lack a cheaper, reliable substitute. The toll must remain predictable. The bridge must be maintained before damage becomes an emergency. Supporting rents must diversify revenue. And the reserve must survive the year the river wins. Miss any one of those, and the arithmetic turns against you. A bridge with no traffic is expensive stone. A bridge with traffic but no reserve is delayed bankruptcy. A bridge with tolls but no legal authority invites conflict. A bridge with authority but no maintenance loses trust. The richest owner was rarely the person counting the most coins today. It was the person who could keep the crossing open tomorrow. That is the real economic asset. Not the gate. Not the toll chest. Not even the arches. You were selling continuity. A farmer could leave home knowing the market remained reachable. A merchant could price a journey without gambling on the ford. A town could depend on trade from both banks. The bridge turned an uncertain river into a predictable road, and predictability was valuable enough to charge for. But it came with an obligation no toll collector could avoid. The river tested the business every season. Stone could slow it. Money could repair the stone. Only discipline could keep money waiting for the repair. So here is what you truly owned. You did not own the river. You did not own the travelers. You did not even fully own their route. You owned a promise that the road would continue. And every coin in the chest existed to keep that promise.